Friday morning, I testified as a witness for Bobby. What I said at that time was the truth. Bobby did not stab and kill Gary, and neither did Charlie, Bruce, Sadie, or me. I can't say who did it, but it wasn't done by a member of the family. I wouldn't say who did it before, and when the police last December said Bobby was blaming the murder on me and threatened me with probation violation, a murder charge, and the loss of the baby, I was frightened, and I put it on Bobby. Then I testified to the same things that were in the original statement because I was told I would be prosecuted if I didn't. The affidavit I made in May is true, and I offered through Mr. Graves to take a lie detector test on this in court. However, the judge did not permit this and said either I cooperate with the prosecution or be arrested immediately for murder. Bobby saw how some fears were rekindled by the judge's threats especially, and also by what the lawyer told me about the charges of not going along with the court at this time. It is obvious that the DA and the Judge Keene are not interested in truth. They want their conviction of Bobby, and the only other person they would accept as the killer is Charlie. They are not guilty, and I am completely willing to take a lie detector test on this point at any time.
Pardon me?
I say hello again.
Oh, hi.
What's your comment after being arraigned on a charge of murder?
Oh, I don't have one.
Really? Are you frightened at all?
No, I expected it.
Really? Does the possibility of a death penalty frighten you? Or does
That's so far off. Like, there's next week is court coming up, and that's as far ahead as I'm going right now.
Well, Mary, can you tell us, you say that Bobby, nor you, nor Susan killed Gary Hinman. Who did?
Take Charlie out of there, too.
And Charlie.
Oh, take Bruce, too, by the way.
Okay.
I forgot he was in on it.
Who did do the killing?
I can't tell you who did that.
Well, do you know? I mean, can you tell us that?
I
mean, without naming names, do you happen to know? This isn't putting anybody on the spot, if that's what you're afraid of. Do you really know who did it?
Might say that, yeah.
Do you know the motive for it?
Wow, that's more than I want to get into.
Okay. You know now that you may never see your baby again, or at least for a long, long time. Does this have any effect on you?
Of course it has an effect on me.
Did you think about this before you made your latest move?
Yes.
You decided it was better to do it this way?
That's right.
About this before you made your latest move?
Yes.
You decided it was better to do it this way?
That's right.
You're 26 years old, I believe.
That's right.
Do you feel that your life has been wasted at all?
You gotta be kidding.
Well, Gary was a very sweet person. He tended to take care of people. He was very warm, very outgoing, very verbal. He was extremely bright. He was studying for his doctorate in political science.
He was an accomplished musician as well.
Yes, also.
How do you think he might have gotten involved with the people in the Manson tribe?
Well, Gary had a penchant for helping out people that were in trouble. He, fed them and gave them a place to stay, and it was, he did this with a lot of people, and I assume that this is probably how he, came in contact with a number of people in the family.
Did he ever talk to you about any of the members of the family?
No, he did not.
Never mentioned the family?
No.
What was your first reaction when you'd heard about his death?
Shock.
And surprise?
Yes, because I couldn't understand how anyone would kill Gary. He just wasn't the kind of person who would get physically aggressive or that you could get angry with. I couldn't understand what a motive would be. Gary Hinman was a person that would have been almost impossible to rob because he would have given you whatever he had or whatever you needed.
My son has all the intelligence in the world of being his own attorney. He's very capable.
You're saying the jury was unfair in their decision?
The jury did not follow the court's instructions given by Judge Keene. If they had, my son would be acquitted today.
What instructions?
The instructions were very clear in the court. The judge said to handle with mistrust anyone that would get immunity in a case such as this. not to completely outrule their testimony, but consider with distrust. Also, the fact that immunity was given to Mary Bruner, deals were made with Danny DiCarlo in the first trial and possibly in this one. He's charged of all types of felonies. Our son has no other previous convictions, but this one, he spoke a sincere and honest testimony, and the jury refused to believe it. And I feel that those people are going to have to live with themselves, and I pray for them.
Are you in agreement with the verdict?
Yes, I'm in agreement with the verdict. I think it comports with justice. As I indicated before, I'm always sad to see a death penalty verdict returned, and my heart goes out to the parents, Mr. and Mrs. Beausoleil.
In prison, he's developed a reputation as an innovator in music synthesizers. In a prison visiting room, Beausoleil demonstrated an instrument modeled after an electronic guitar synthesizer he built. He operates an electronic music business and produces electronic sounds that are stored in a device and sells them to companies like Casio. This is music he says he wrote and produced.
I find more variety in the palette of colors that are available in sound than I do in the palette of colors that are available on an artist easel.
Beausoleil says he's ready for parole. Besides his music business, he's earned a high school diploma and degrees in electronics. His psychiatric reports are positive, but he fears his link to Manson has kept him in prison longer than otherwise would have been the case.
My interest in Manson at the time was to try to get him in the studio because I thought he had talent. And I think he did have talent, but he threw it away.
Beausoleil says he regrets the connection, but was never a Manson family member. He says now his dream is to be successful in life.
In the sense that when I'm 90 years old, I can look back and say, hey, I really did something despite my failures.
Question.